When you think of nuclear weapons, most people have seen the Tsar Bomba, the Russian weapon that was the most powerful one ever detonated. Of course, the U.S. did its detonations in the Bikini Islands. But many people don't know that China, themselves conducted nuclear detonations. This was their first one, 3.3 megatons. 253 times the size of the explosion that leveled Hiroshima. You just don't think about China when you think about nuclear weapons, but they've had them for a long time. The reason that I bring this up is it has to do with something the channel was investigating a long time ago. I didn't go down this road during the Fitzgerald investigation because I wanted to make it about the sailors. And with it being so fresh in everyone's mind, I didn't want to get too far off the road of just maintaining the channel's desire to see their names not dragged through the mud. Well, behind the scenes, I've been doing some research into some things, and there are 3 events that correlate with the date of the Fitzgerald. One is a Vietnamese event, and there was a ship present that was Vietnamese. And this issue all have the same date. So we are going to, and also there was a little line in one of the reports that showed me that there was something going on aboard that ship prior to the event that points to something very different than what the story is. But when I'm ready to release that video in its entirety with all of the puzzle pieces put together, I will, of course, give you guys some heads up on that. But what we're going to do today for the rest of this video is talk about last night. I would like to say a big thank you to Dabu77 or 777, however you find him on YouTube. That he did, of course, make a video and did give the Florida Maki a shout back out. Very much appreciated. One of the things that you can do, and I've said this a whole bunch of times, I'm going to continue to say it, when you download Google Earth Pro to your hard drive, it's a very different thing than the Google Maps Earth thing that you get browser-based. Even that brand new map of Antarctica that they say is the most detailed map out there, there's no historical data, and you cannot change the angle, the aspect with which you look at things. It's literally, I would never use that map for anything. And honest to God, it looks to me like a 3D printed map that somebody just did an overlay on. Because it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I've looked at it, and it looks like somebody literally took a hunk of plastic, put it in a 3D printer, and then said, create something that looks like Antarctica. It's horrible. I don't know how anybody would use it for anything. But I wanted to show you guys something today about this island, Annobon. It's undergone some radical changes very recently in history. Now, up here in the upper left, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get the time slider into this to show you what the 6th least visited place in the world has had occurring on it just in the last couple of years. Now, this is 2017. Of course, people have mentioned that this airstrip seems awfully long and very, very nice and heavy duty for such a small place. There's only 3 settlements on the whole island. There's San Antonio de Palais here, San Pedro, and there's another tiny one over here named Mabana, but they are just basically little tiny villages. The one odd thing about this island off the African coast is it's actually a Spanish-speaking island. But this is modern. This is 2017. Now, we're going to go back through time, and I'm going to show you some things that were not there even 5 years ago. So here's 2016, not much has changed. 2015. January of 2015. Now, here's 2014. It's kind of hard here because there just so happens to be a cloud in the picture. But there are some things that are different. It's like one of those, those games you play where you look at two pictures and you try to find the things that are different? Well, over here, they were beginning to construct something. And they finished it in the newer pictures. And it's a giant power array or solar array. At first glance, it looked like it was some kind of a football field, but I'll go back forward. I have to get just the right angle here to do this. As you can see from 2014 to 2015, something very strange. And it does. It looks like stands here, and there's a track around it. But over here, if this is maybe a bullfighting ring, but something, I just don't buy it. Something very odd is happening here that I think they want people to think is something other than what it is. But it gets better. Pay attention as we go back through time to this mountaintop right here, where we can see massive construction and also this port. See this right here? Watch this. Now we are at January 15, 2015. And I've got to get this angle just right so all of these little lines show up. 2014. 2013. February 2013. 2012. Now, clearly, the entire port doesn't even exist in 2012. 6th least visited place in the world. Up here, not one sign of construction. Nothing. And of course, and those of you out there who think that that was the lake reflecting the sky, you're out of your flippin' mind. If you go here for yourself and you go zoom down to ground level in that year, you'll see that clearly you are on the ground. And you are in a giant empty bowl. It's not the reflection of the clouds in the sky. You see the shadows of some clouds on the empty surface below. But you can clearly see here, this is what water looks like. Or something else. In 2012. But in 2015, no, this is not the clear, mirrored reflection of a lake. This is an empty, completely empty bowl. In fact, I'll do that for you here, real quick. I'll zoom us all the way down to ground level so that the micro brains can figure this out. And you have to do this. You have to zoom this all the way in, and sometimes you can get it to do it, sometimes you can't. All right. Here's ground level. Okay, this is not the reflection of a lake. You can clearly move all the way up here and see how the banks, this is an empty lake bed. The water here is gone. And when we go back to see here, see how you can't see that? See that the water level is all the way up to the bank? Water does not appear white. I don't know why this keeps doing this. 1 second. All right. So once again, let me get my aspect back here to show you. Sorry about this. I just want to take the time to cover all the bases. I probably shouldn't give trolls as much time and effort as I do. And while I'm on the subject, I get hundreds and hundreds of links and requests to watch videos every day. I have over 700 videos out on all sorts of different subjects. All right. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I also have a massive problem with trolls. Because, of course, I haven't chosen to join everybody at the altar kneeling below the admin's Twitter in Washington. I probably could have grown my channel much larger had I decided to join all of the mind-numbed worshippers that follow our leader. But I digress. The point is, I'm not ignoring you. A lot of those comments end up in spam, end up in held for review, and I do apologize if you've sent me information and I haven't gotten to it. It's just a lot to deal with doing videos here and dealing with, of course, the Patreon channel. Now, this is where we are now. And of course, we've seen this has been built recently. The port's been built recently. I'll go back to, I gotta get this just right. There we go. 2012. And even when you look at the airport, do you see how much smaller it is? How much less there is of it? What was going on this island that is so important that they had to widen the runway? Look at this airport now. And before. I mean, clearly there's something major going on this island. Once again, the 6th least visited place in the world. And of course, they had to build this giant port. And up here, we'll show you this, clicking forward. Massive, massive construction project going on the top of this mountain. Right at the same time, all the water disappears out of this lake. And I'll say it again, you're seeing shadows of clouds on a dry lake bed, but you're not looking at the mirrored reflection of a perfectly calm body of water here. That is straight up stone. The water is gone. As you can see clearly, there was at one time water here. And now it's gone. So, anyway, we will leave it there. So this island has undergone major changes, and I don't think it's, once again, any coincidence that those signals that have been traced by other channels, I guess Mr. MBB33 something, talked about it along with Dabu77 and others as well. So, unfortunately, because I spend so much time doing research and putting together videos, I don't actually watch YouTube at all anymore. I don't watch other channels. So if I cover something or I speak about something that some other channel has done, it's not because I'm following them and trying to copy them. I literally don't have the time to do that. It's a very hard thing. The channel has quadrupled in the last 6 months as amount of views and subscribers. And for those of you out here listening who have channels that have had big increases like this, you know what it takes to keep the troll population at bay and to keep focus on your channel and the amount of effort it takes. So, not complaining necessarily, just saying that it's a lot of work. And I don't want people that have been with the channel for a while to think that I'm ignoring. I'm not. I just have a lot going on. And there's sometimes that, especially with links, if you have a comment that goes on for more than a paragraph, that goes automatically to spam. If you have links, multiple links, that will go to held for review or for spam. If you take the same comment and you spam it over multiple channels, not only will that end up in held for review or spam, I will block you. Because I'm not going to have anyone else using my channel as a platform to promote theirs. I've never taken one single link from any of my videos, any of the 750 plus videos that I've done, and taken them and put them on other major channels to try to promote my channel. I've never done that. I think it's a cheap, cowardly way of doing it. So, didn't mean to go off on a rant, but sometimes, I have to address channel business like this when we're trying to do an investigation, and it was really disheartening during the Fitzgerald thing but we won't get into that. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and we will talk to you next time.